Like I said, 22 gauge wire here. We'll go ahead and pull off a few feet of it. We're gonna get a snare built. All right, so we've got here probably about 3.5 foot of 22 gauge wire. You want to get any stick. I've got a little bamboo stick here. You're gonna want to wrap that wire around about 5 times. Give us our snare loop. A nice tightly wrapped, and then we're gonna come across it and wrap on the other side once. Okay. Now we're gonna go ahead and pull that off. Now if you had a Leatherman or something like that, it'd be handy. I've just got my needle nose pliers, which is just fine, but I can do the same thing with my finger. I'm pushing that tag end around those loops and getting it around just like that to keep those real tight. Now what we want to do is go ahead and straighten out our wire. Got our wire fairly straight. We're going to bring this back through and loop it just like so. So then you got a nice loop. Now what you want to do is you want to find a highly trafficked area, an area with some animal trail, or like I've got a little spot under here under my fence where an animal's been coming in and out, kind of burrowing under the fence. So what we do is you set your snare wire up to the desired height based on what you're trapping. So if we're going after a rabbit, you'd want to be about 2 inches above the ground. Squirrel, about the same that. Just kind of determine the animal that you're trying to trap, and you're going to want to just tie off to a tree, or you can take a stick and beat it in the ground, and you want to tie it off. So we'll just say right here, say we were wanting to do one right here. We'll put that here. Let's say our trail's right here. We want to set our snare wire so that it's right above the ground in the area, and then we would go ahead and take our other end of the wire and wrap it around really well our tree, sapling, log, rock, whatever, what have you. And then once you get it tied off really well, you've done all your wire, you position your snare height how you want, okay? Just like so. Now a little critter comes along, crawl around, sticks his head in there, continues to go forward, and as he does, that lynches down on him. The animal struggles until the struggle ends. At which time you want to check your traps, and then you'll harvest your animal, whether it be for fur or for food. So this is how you make a basic snare. With snares, the more the better. You want to be sure that you're marking your trees where you're planting them, or have a dedicated trap line. That way when you're checking them, you're not missing them. Depending on what time of year it is, you want to make sure you're checking your traps often enough. You don't want your catch to rot. If it's in the winter, you could do it once a day, but any other time of the year, you're going to want, if you have active snares out, you're going to want to be checking them at least 2 to 3 times a day. And then of course, you never want to leave your snares up if they're going to be unattended. You just come back and remove your snares, leave the area as close as it was before you started putting out your trap sets. You want to leave things undisturbed. We don't want to disturb Mother Nature any more than we need to. So that's how you would set a basic survival snare. This wire was $3 for 100 foot. It was 22 gauge. I used about 3 foot here, so essentially you can get about 30 traps out of this wire pretty easily. If you want to say 25 wires, so you can get them for under 10 cents a snare. It's a very cost-effective way to do some trapping, especially if there's a dedicated path where the animal's been going. They're very handy at catching prey for survival situations. So hope this was helpful to you. Have a great day.